losers this season. You can't separate CSK from Mumbai,
Yep.
and that is what they are losers. I think they've lost like 10 games this season, both of them. So that's an L for Mumbai and Chennai fans. Um, Throughout the back half of the tournament, you could see that they're clearly building from the future. And as we saw in the last game, Brevis is back. David is pretty good. We saw Tristan Stubbs play a game, and Markande played well for the first time in like a bajillion years. So they're clearly looking for the future. What do you make of how the future lineup is shaping up to be?
Talking about Markande, after his stellar year at Mumbai, he's just not been given enough chances wherever he goes. I think he's a fabulous bowler, and if he's given a longer run, he can do great damage. I'm glad that he's back. Talking about Tim David, absolutely no reason to drop him after his first two games on Indian soil. Terrible move from the Mumbai management. Talking about Devil Brevis, well, the thing that pains me the most is that he's playing for Mumbai, not RCB. But that's all well and good. I think he's a shining star for the future. And I think he's going to do for South Africa a bit of what AB did when AB left his legacy there. Um, Talking about the younger recruits in Tilak Verma, he had a fabulous season. He's again one for the future. He's he's what Surya Kumar was back in the day when Mumbai got him. Um, the thing that let them down this season wasn't their batting. I think they always had batting potential. Sure, their batting did blow out a couple of times, but the main letdown for me was their bowling. Sam's just had one good game and 10 bad games, and then one good game again, and then like bad games again. Apart from that, Bumrah, bad. Last three games good. So with bowling performances like that, it's not a surprise that you lose the IPL. We've seen it with RCB for decades, or like for like what 13 years. If you don't have a good bowling, you don't qualify. Apart from that, we've seen it from the Sunrisers Hyderabad. If you have a good bowling, you qualify, right? When they had Rashid, Bhuvneshwar, all those guys, but only three good batsmen, they still qualified. Your bowling is something like an utmost priority, and Mumbai didn't prioritize that this season. Hopefully they will next season. Hopefully they get good recruits in. Arch obviously is coming back. Many overseas options exist, even young Indian talents. So I hope they exploit that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
and yeah, Vivin, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, the Mumbai bowling, they had, as you said, Sam's only had a couple of good games. That one game against Gujarat Titans, obviously, where he bowled in the death, brilliant stuff. Tymal Mills came in for a few games. He bowled okay. He got like 3 wickets in one game, but he was not enough to sort of pull the Mumbai Indians bowling away from the hell that it was. And I mean, if you don't have a performing Bumrah, which is obviously what Mumbai's bowling is very reliant on, then yeah, they're not gonna have a season. And I like the last game because they played Brevis and David, which was awesome because early on they obviously dropped David, and I sort of understood it in the sense that they wanted to bring dual Brevis in, and he played well for a couple of the first two games, and then they dropped him again. So I'm not really sure what they were going for that. I don't know if they thought that David and Brevis would be like immediate slam dunks. You obviously have to give them time in India, so it's good that they played them both, and hopefully they continue.
Yeah, going back to what you said, Vivin, like you're talking about Bumrah and like if he doesn't perform, Mumbai doesn't play well. One stat that I recently noticed was every time Bumrah has bowled 2 overs in the power play, Mumbai has won the match. Obviously, he's one of the best bowlers in the world, and I feel that Rohit Sharma and Mumbai Indians, even for the past few years, they've been using him very defensively. One in the power play, one in the middle, two at the death. And I think that was feasible when you had Trent Bolt bowling up top. But with this bowling attack, I think Bumrah is too good not to be used, and they had to use him more attackingly. And on a similar note, you're talking about dual Brevis. They also mismanaged Sky a bit. I think his best position is number three. And we saw once Brevis was dropped and Sky moved to three, he played brilliantly. But to accommodate Brevis, who's just a kid, they moved their best batsman, Sky Suryakumar Yadav, to the middle order, and I don't think that worked. So I think it's good to keep an eye on the future, but like it's also important to remember that you have a few of the best players in the world in your team right now, and you need to use them to the max of their potential. So that's it for Mumbai. Since we're going this way, we'll just talk about points table in the reverse.